please welcome here to listen our beautiful speakers. This meetup is about the bridging between VCs and DeFi, and we want to discuss the innovation that are coming to the market and how we can improve to basically release DeFi Renaissance, DeFi 0.30, and we can see here our beautiful speakers. Guys, I will introduce you, and please, I give a word to you. Introduce yourself and the project that you are working now. Sergej Kunz, our co-founder, please welcome him.
So hi everyone, my name is Sergej Kunz, co-founder of 1inch. Who don't know what 1inch is, we started with aggregation among decentralized exchanges in 2019. It was a short project on a hackathon. Over 2 sleepless nights, we have built something what people start to use. And nowadays, we are pushing forward with intent-based swap approaches, with math protection by design, and also cross-chain swaps based on intent-based on top cross-chain swaps. So yeah, pushing the Web3 world into traditional kind of financial institutional world as well. Thanks.
Tim, head of marketing at Synthetics.
Hi everyone, I'm Tim, head of marketing at Synthetics. We're powering the next generation of derivatives platforms with liquidity and infrastructure. About 8 platforms so far, and we've got 3 more on the way very shortly. So please follow us, and thank you all for coming.
Elgis, head of product at Gearbox Protocol.
Hey everyone, I'm one of the co-founders of Gearbox Protocol. Gearbox Protocol is on-chain credit protocol, and we are focusing on enabling credit natively inside the wallet in one click. Yeah, launched in 2021, 8 billion transactions volume. Yeah.
Samit, investment director at Cypher Capital.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the event. I know there are a lot of side events, so thank you for picking us. My name is Sumit. I'm an investment director at Cypher Capital. Cypher is a blockchain-focused fund. We do venture, Bitcoin mining, liquid tokens, fund of fund as well, and primarily focus on the venture side, looking everything from infra towards adoption. So if you are building something cool, feel free to hit me or my colleague Harshap, and would love to learn more about yourselves.
Jacob, director at Wallet Connect Foundation.
Exactly. Hey everyone, my name is Jacob. I'm leading the foundation of Wallet Connect, which is basically empowering the growth and decentralization of the Wallet Connect network that is seamlessly creating the UX, combining the apps and wallets. Previously, I was at Revolut and Kraken, so the topic of DeFi is very close to my heart. So really looking forward to a nice discussion with you guys.
Scott, co-founder at Kava Labs.
Hey guys, I'm Scott. Kava is a layer 1 blockchain that was launched as a Binance launchpad at Q4 2019. It was the first blockchain to release DeFi protocols on the Cosmos ecosystem. Launched EVM a couple of years ago, and in 2025 is focusing on decentralized AI.
Thanks a lot, and you can keep the mic here. Guys, you know what, we want this to make this conversation very useful for you, and that's why we call it Fireside Chat. And I believe you all have some questions or some thoughts to share, or maybe get the feedback from all our speakers, because we have here layer 2, we have here the basically funds, we have protocols, infrastructure, and they are all can basically maybe give you some alpha, and yeah, be ready to basically start this conversation with our speakers. But to start here, I just want maybe guys ask from each of you, what will be basically the major trend? Maybe let's pick just 1, 2 max, which will now affect on the industry today in DeFi. Who want to start?
We see the most right now in meme coins and AI.
I think, in my opinion, we will have more and more institutions that are going to be leveraging DeFi.
Yeah, I think in my opinion it will be the clear line between institution and retail DeFi.
In my belief, it will be a lot of improvements on UX side.
Accessibility. Everything is going to get easier to use. Mobile applications, account abstraction, passkeys, you name it.
So I recognize that actually everyone is launching on layer 2. So this is the current narrative. So I don't know why, but yeah, everyone like to launch on layer 2. So liquidity becomes fragmented, very fragmented, and I think the right narrative, what is also right now already here, is intent-based protocols. So we improve the user experience. So user feel almost have this almost the same feeling as in centralized exchanges and like traditional stock exchanges, and cross-chain because we need to unite the whole liquidity and offer one access to the whole liquidity from one single place.
Thank you. Guys, I just want to pay attention here. Who knows about DeFi? Great. Who has at least one wallet, a mobile wallet, a hot wallet in their mobile? Okay, great. Who are here just to eat some food? Great, okay, thanks. Just want to pay attention here. Guys, do you want to share some trends or innovations? Do you agree with the speakers? Maybe you can add something for what speaker says right now. I just want to be sure that you're listening to them because they are like biggest guys here in DeFi. Coming back to the next topic, basically, you mentioned, Sergej, about the interoperability, about the cross-chain, and we see that there was a bull, but there was at the beginning, there was an ICO era, then there was the IDO era, now people doing the node sales, basically the private investment with the funds, and like, what's your thoughts, basically, in general, investment, DeFi infrastructure, and what will be the trends right now in this maybe upcoming bull market? And yeah, basically your thoughts in the investment in DeFi dedicated? Yeah, does someone wants to share thoughts or not? Maybe Samit, I can give you.
Sure, I can start. I think what we are seeing clearly is, as I was just expand on my previous point on how a clear line has been built between institutional DeFi and retail DeFi. And the user experience are different. What the users want on institution side is more security. And it has to be like perfectly secure platform. That's why they are using custody solution like Fireblocks or BitGo, but they don't ideally would want to. So the institutional DeFi wants to come in there with a secure solution, whereas retail doesn't care so much about security, but they care about being it fast, making a clear UI, easy to use app, and as Sergej mentioned, interoperability. They don't need to worry about which chain the asset on, they just want to swap. I mean, it's basically, I'm in Thailand, I just want to buy a burger. I don't need to worry about which currency do I swap to first and then do that, but you actually do that. But eventually, the idea would be to have dApps which are focused on retail, and on the back end, infra to support that, intent swap, infra to support cross-chain, with a very like invisible for the users. And for DeFi, it's going to be RWA yield generation basically, but made it easy or made it secure for them. So that's what we are seeing across different chains, and that's what we are keen to kind of learn more about and invest in as well.
Can you repeat once again the question?
Basically, it's about the VC investment in DeFi and how this changing in the investment and affecting on the DeFi growth, roadmap, innovation from ICO to node sales and private investment from the funds.
So I recognized recently there was a nice launch of Infinix. Synthetics OGs decided to build really nice, user-friendly smart wallets, and actually more. It's a single place of investments. You can manage your portfolio. I guess more modules are coming right now. They decided to not just start with a traditional way of selling tokens or selling equity to VCs. They launched NFT patrons, and everyone who is very long in this space got chance, like me and Anton, to buy these NFTs to support this project, this innovation. And also VCs bought, what I understood. So actually it was like not a normal way of investment, where only really close group of people could invest. They opened also to community. They had multiple waves, and community could participate, and they raised how much? 60 millions or something. It's insane. It's really insane. And everyone feel themselves as a supporter, as a patron of this project. And I personally feel it's like I am part of this project, you know, because I support them, and they build really nice thing, nice service. So this is a new way, from my point of view. It's a new way, also like a new innovation from my point of view in terms of investment here, how we can maybe in the future collect funds to build technology and create value-add products.
But guys, like as a builders, what you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd say actually like last year maybe all launch of tokens actually, especially after like going to exchanges, they are only down tokens, yeah. And actually, community was very upset with that because like everyone dumping on them. And the way like when community will be like fun project interesting, and yeah, will be enabled to take participation in the growth of protocol from early days. It's something like very interesting for users actually to be attracted and to be part of the kind of movements, yeah. And actually, like in crypto, I guess building community is one of the goals, and all of the projects that started successful, they are all like have very broad community around it. Like we're here at Devcon, and we see like a lot of people support Ethereum, and Ethereum start as a community movement, not as some investment VC thing, yeah.
Actually, they were like in the decision to go business or to go community, and that's why we have seen split. I don't know if you have seen the documentary about Ethereum. I watched it on ETH Global Hackathon. It was interesting to see it as well, that some people decided, okay, we should maybe make business, and Vitalik, no, we are community. We are building like the new innovation and new internet, Web3, and it should not be commercialized.
I think I just want to add, I mean, I misinterpreted your question. So what we are seeing, what we will see going forward is VCs maybe sidetracked by the builders, because as I mentioned, that community felt the heat of high FDV tokens, and they were kind of on the like losing side over here. So we'll see more fair launches, more community raises, and low FDV, high float token eventually. So I mean, it's going to change the market, and it's the cycle. So it just keeps on going forever.
Just one thing to add from me on this, even though I'm not a VC, but I think the question about like how do VC think DeFi is also a question about what do we think this is, how the future will look like, what is going to get capital allocated. And I think it's pretty clear that a lot of things when it comes to ease of use that we're currently seeing in Web 2, when it comes to payments, investments, anything, it has become just extremely easy, and everyone's just making sure that every single click is optimized. And if you think about that, the future, that everything is going to be on-chain moving forward, it's very clear that we still have, as Sumit has mentioned, this big gap versus what Web 3 is and what Web 2 is. And I think it's very clear for me as well, as a very big fan of DeFi, that everything is going to be in the future from your wallet. So the future is self-custodied. Everything is going to be based on basically a plethora of different chains that are going to be used for many different use cases, and this is how they're going to be finding their own niche. And also going to be a big competition when it comes to wallets. I think there's definitely going to be some asymmetry when it comes to wallets. And again, every wallet will try to find its own use case when it comes to a particular vertical, or when it comes to maybe some geography that they're going to be focused on. So I think the magic, as Sumit has mentioned, is to recreate this Web 2 experience that we already have in every single app that we are using on a daily basis, whether it's Grab, whether it's Revolut, whether any other app that is just perfectly optimized for my user experience. And we're still not there yet when it comes to Web 3. So the question about VC is also a question about how do we see the future moving forward, and how the teams that are going to be solving this type of problems are going to get their capital actually allocated to get this done.
So the next maybe part of our discussion, I would like to basically discuss the interoperability, because it's one of the narratives that you mentioned. And my question to you guys, what will be basically the biggest challenges for everyone here, for the protocols, chains, builders, VCs, to basically achieve finally this interoperability between any chains? Yeah, maybe Sergej, if you want.
I would like to start. I have the feeling everyone is cooking own soup. Uniswap is building own Dutch auction intent-based protocol, but we did it already before. So and they tell everyone that it's their innovation. We came first. We have no problems with this at all. We were also happy that they mentioned us in the white paper. It's not the first time that someone claimed that they come with innovation, what we already released under MIT license, open source. Anyway, I have the feeling that everyone's kind of building on thing. Also in terms of like these cross-chain topics, Uniswap came with own proposal for standard. We are right now pushing to the Ethereum Foundation the idea to build a golden standard across different projects for cross-chain operations. In our case, especially for swaps, very important. And we are ready to contribute. We are open to speak, and we are not interested to have the kind of ownership about this protocol. We call it one-inch fusion because like we're building it out of one-inch fusion. I don't care if it's called like, I don't know, Ethereum proposal number X, right? So, and everyone should be able to use it and to build on top of this technology. Only in this way we can grow this space. Otherwise, you know, like you have then everyone building on things. Competition is great, of course. We build, we innovate, we create new protocols. But when we come to something what is highly efficient and there's nothing anymore to remove, so it's highly efficient thing, then we should maybe build it together.
Sergej, sorry, one follow-up on you. Like, how are you thinking about beyond EVM? Like, you have alt VMs and like EVM, okay, Ethereum standard can solve, but what happens after? There's a lot of liquidity on other VMs also.
Yeah, this is also part of my pitches here on the conference. Crypto is bigger than just DeFi. DeFi is very fragmented through different DeFi chains like Ethereum, layer 2s. We have already Near, Ton, DeFi also pop up there. But crypto is more. Bitcoin is there. Bitcoin is the highest liquidity ever. And we are working on a golden standard protocol across crypto blockchains. So UTXO blockchain. So we can easily work with atomic swap with hash time lock contracts. It works very well. And it exists, this technology exists already since 2013. One guy published this on Bitcoin Talk. So yeah, in general, we should look on that. Okay, we are not just DeFi, just small EVM environment. We are more. There are more blockchains are coming. Sui blockchain, for example, also very interesting. We can implement a lot of things. It works, and yeah, this is kind of the future from our point of view. I need to jump, guys. Thank you very much. So. Yeah.
Scott, do you want to also share like what will be the biggest? Yeah, here's our second co-founder, Anton. Yeah, but I want to like, thanks. Anyways, coming back to the challenges in cross-chain interoperability, you are basically the best who maybe comment on that. What would you see the challenge?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we kind of, I would say Kava has its like DNA in interoperability in the sense that it started in the Cosmos ecosystem, and today, there's probably not, if you look at the relative, I don't have the numbers, but if you look at the relative flows between chains versus on chains or on sexes, it's very low. There's actually not that much flow between chains right now, including the Cosmos ecosystem. I think it's helpful that in the Cosmos ecosystem, they had one standard that they kind of built around called IBC. And so if the nth like project wants to move a coin from one chain to the other, they choose that. In EVM land, it's not like solved yet, but I would imagine most people choose like OFTs, maybe some other things. So I think in the future, If you can get like just one solution that people all tend to go towards, I think that's going to help with flows, in the sense that when somebody wants to make an ERC20 move from one chain to another, they'll use the same standard. Yeah. So that's the only thing I see. I think it's kind of bizarre that we haven't coordinated on like a single mechanism to validate that a coin moved from one chain to the other. And I think when you do, that will certainly help.
Thanks. And yeah, so let's start from Jacob and then Elgis.
Yeah, so I fully agree with Scott. I think it's crazy to think that there's no clear solution right now that is just fully aggregating all potential routes that you can take when it comes to performing a transaction and making it seamless. Because, I mean, if anyone would ask you, how do you want to have your transactions in the future, you would not be obsessed about a particular chain. You just want to make sure that it's being performed in the most optimized when it comes to speed and cost fashion, right? You could take an analogy of almost like driving on, having a possibility to drive on many highways. Like you wouldn't be attached to a particular highway just because of it's your favorite. You just want to get from point A to B in the most efficient way. And I think it's crazy to think that we haven't figured that out yet, but I think we're slowly going to get there, and we have interim solutions in place. I think when it comes to like solutions within a particular ecosystem, whether it's EVM or whether they're going to be solutions built around specific layer 2s. And I think slowly but steadily we will make this walls a little bit lower until basically the end solution is, for you as users, you should not even care. You want to make sure that there's going to be a protocol that is just going to optimize and reroute your transactions so it doesn't take ages and it doesn't cost you a fortune, but everything is seamless. And I think that's the end goal.
I think it's probably worth noting that I don't think it's at this point a technology issue. It's just like a coordination issue and between different ecosystems. And I don't know it really solves that. I know one thing that was kind of funny was like oftentimes you figure out what works when shit hits the fan. So back when Terra collapsed and people were scrambling to move this asset called UST, which we don't think about much, off of their protocols onto something else, stuff started to break. And at least from and you're literally trying to find the route to move a massive amount of X over to Y. And things like IBC actually worked because it's just this standard that if shit goes weird, you can set up a full node and run the thing. Whereas a lot of the more like quasi-proprietary stuff just went down and you couldn't use it. So in good times, it's kind of like whatever. In bad times, you know, maybe you see winners start to emerge.
I would also say that efficiency of cross-chain communication is very low actually right now. And for us, for example, as a credit protocol, it's crucial to be able to liquidate different position on rollups change with lower liquidity. And there is a lot of inventory and a lot of solvers who actually could arbitrage liquidity between different chains in a fast way. And that's a very big problem. And one of the problems that I see why they can do it right now is kind of inventory problem. So it still requires a lot of capital. And the number of rollups increases, the number of different longer tail assets that should be moved between different rollups increases, and all of it requires capital. And solvers just can't find a way how to attract this capital to interact between different chains and fill this gap. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add that actually I see two different ways to approach problem of cross-chain interoperability. One of them is like from bottom to top. It's when protocols try to reinvent, redefine ownership from wallet side. So you're like owning assets on different chains, or like doing this like owning indirectly. Right now they are forced to separate ownership to like layer 1 to have it in one place, because managing EUA wallets cross-chain is hard because you always have to find fee tokens on every chain. But managing multi-sigs is even harder because, yeah, whenever you need to change your wallet, imagine you have to go over all L2s which you use and change your wallet there. So they are forced to make your ownership on one chain while you can use benefits of this ownership on another chain. There are some improvement proposals like L1, L1 slot, L1 static call, and other things. And there are also a lot of efforts from the other side, more traditional side, I would say. It's from top to bottom. It's when we do achieve cross-chain interoperability with intents. And protocols, some protocols like OneInfusion, Uniswap-X, with those with Dutch auction, they actually use MEV, but this is how protocols use MEV to achieve own goals of this interoperability. When you can pay on one chain and achieve something happening on another chain. That's, by the way, also interesting. MEV appeared on its own as kind of attack to extract value from user transactions, but protocols can utilize this functionality to achieve own goals if it's used in a smart way, like Dutch auctions with competing resolvers is probably the best market way to discover price. So yeah, and one more point I wanted to say is that having this scaling via multiple L2s is actually breaking composability, and it's breaking the whole idea of DeFi Lego. If we would end up with app chains, it's kind of absurd. We already have announced ENS chain, Uniswap chain. We will see Aave chain, and like aggregators should be on different chains. That's the way how DeFi Lego would not work at all. So yeah, I think having DeFi chain makes much more sense.
But Justin Drake promised to solve this problem in 5 years.
Huh?
Justin Drake promised to solve this problem in 5 years, yeah.
In 5 years. So hypothetically, this would happen in 10 years, yeah. But yeah, these plans are like too far away to like discuss them seriously right now. Yeah, I mean, looks like a bright future, but it's still too far away.
One question that I have, because you've mentioned that, do you think that it seems to me that the odds are pretty high that many of these companies are going to go for launching their own chains. So this is kind of the future, the direction of travel, right? It's not going to be less about relying on someone else, but more on building on someone else's stack and making it basically adjusted to your own needs. So I think it's probably highly likely that this is how basically the future will look like moving forward, just by seeing what already happens today.
Hey, I think L2s could be like a big venues, like big platforms who can try like a small version of DeFi or big version of DeFi altogether. But I think app chains makes no sense because this app became inaccessible from DeFi, which makes like no sense completely. Because DeFi is well known for its composability, because that's how it was like growing, that you can build new protocols which use other protocols, not like you're not using other technologies, you are using other protocols which are deployed, which have liquidity, which have users. To have this thing, you need all DeFi protocols in one place, like DeFi chain or something. I'm not sure if Mega ETH will be this DeFi chain or something, but I think that we will have concentrated DeFi on some of the chains, and eventually we will see governed chains. They were born to be permissionless, but it's not mandatory, because actually L2 is chain which is governed by L1 smart contract, and since it's smart contract and it's programmable, there could be arbitrary logic about its permissionability and like whatever. And I think we will see half-governed or governed chains baked by central banks or something. I think it could be in like 1, 2, 3 years. It's not that far away.
Yeah, I think that's one thing to add. I think that's a super cool point that I think we haven't touched, that we can already see different type of use cases where on one side you have completely public chains, and on the other side chains that need probably full control when you look at, for example, governments or central banks. And there's going to be probably different shades of gray on that scale. And to what we discussed when we talk about trends where UX is obvious and institutional coming in is also obvious, for institutions, I believe one of the biggest barriers to enter when it comes to basically moving everything on chain is the permissionless nature of it, right? If you're already a bank that is getting slapped left and right from the regulator fines, last thing you want to do is to have more regulatory and compliance problems. And they will say, like, if this is a permissionless network that if it's a borrowing lending protocol and I have no idea who's on the other side of my trade, this is something that definitely regulators would never allow, or if someone does it, is going to be an extremely high risk. So I think, to your point, I think we're going to see a lot of these shades of gray, and I think on top of that, the regulators will see that this is definitely the future from the technology standpoint, and there will be much more regulation when it comes to governing DeFi for licensed institutions.
Yeah, I think we could imagine governance-based chain where people authorize their transactions with their ID card, because ID cards have NFC chips with the private keys, and if they are like kind of derived from same key or something like hierarchical deterministic thing, it's possible to detect if this ID belongs to citizen of this country or not, and we can see something like this. This sounds like too futuristic, I would say, for this exact moment, but that's technically possible.
Great. Thanks, guys. We're running out a bit of the time. Yeah, 1 second. I just want to give a chance to the speakers to share some alpha with the community. What basically people would expect, roadmap, maybe some suggestions from the summit about what are the narratives that you would like to basically interested in. Each of you, please share something for the next upcoming year. So I don't know, Summit, you can start.
Sure. I think one thing that needs to be solved with the easy on-ramp. Like currently on-ramp is like 4, 5, 6 steps, and we need to build like easier rails for that. So that could be something that we'd be interested in. Second is RWA, obviously because of institutions. All of them, they want yield. So who is building the yield rail? How do we get the yield? Where do the yield comes on-chain, off-chain? How secure are they? I think that would be interesting. And in terms of retail product, it has to be like completely focused on easy UI, make sure the wallet connection is like seamless and easy. And in the end, I mean, it has to kind of make sense for the user. I mean, retail are in crypto, like fortunately to make money to gamble. So in essence, you need to give them a product that is fast, that solves their purpose, rather than just adding a layer of complexity on top of it. So I think this is something which would be interesting to look at. And I think last thing, I think what Scott started was meme DeFi or meme-fi. So I think that would be something very interesting to kind of solve for as well.
So this is for like kind of next year? Yeah. I just think like it depends on what the project and community is focused on, but if what you're focused on is attention, then it's not unreasonable to have a hypothesis that the next 3 years in crypto is going to be different than the last 3 years, in that just having a coin on Binance doesn't give you beta to Bitcoin. The sort of middle class of crypto, project number 50 to 150 on CMC, as a cohort is going down month over month. And I think that is an indicative of the market, bifurcating to either really big coins or new crazy stuff. And a lot of the stuff in the middle is just not getting the attention. And so most of the folks up here, including ourselves, are actually less successful than obviously the big projects or newer things that have come out. So from our perspective, you got to keep fighting to win. And so we look at what are the interesting things that are coming up and getting attention. So themes like meme coins and AI are likely to be quite popular next year, and we're putting time and effort and innovation into going like headfirst into those.
One thing that we haven't mentioned at all is stable coins, and I think it's one of the most crucial topics when it comes to DeFi. So I think from a prediction standpoint, it's always good to follow the money. And if you want to see where things are heading, just see where the money is flowing. And it's very clear when you see what Coinbase has announced, the recent announcement with Bridge and Stripe, that this is where a lot more money is going to get poured, because it's just so much easier to make any type of transaction using stablecoins versus fiat. So 100%, if I have to give my own objective kind of vision of the next probably year or two, a lot within different types of stablecoins.
Yeah, so with us, we've got launches stretched out all the way through the end of next year, and into Q1 of next year, really every couple of weeks. So we've got a few new mobile apps that are going to be launching, plugging into Synthetics to offer perps trading and to make it easy and more accessible for users, as well as bringing multi-collateral perps to several different chains and putting perps trading on ETH's L1 in a gas-optimized manner. I'm not sure how much I can share from our roadmap of 2025, but we will be publishing that soon. So if you'd like to learn more about us and what we've got cooking up, please check us out. Thank you.
I think that in coming months, years, we will see as layer 2s are getting upgrades via improvement proposals, which are making them like a first-class passengers in this Ethereum DeFi train, and which will give L2s like advantage of interoperability, like these things like L1S load, L1S static calls. People will be able to own their assets. We are on one chain, like for example L1, but they will be able to prove this ownership on layer 2s easily, and they will be, it will be like an ownership layer and execution layer, which is like layer 2s. And I think we will see more different side chains turning into L2s to get this obvious advantage. Because I think a lot of DApps will be also optimizing for this use case, and this will give even more incentives for L1s to turn into L2s. But one of the greatest advantage is actually a native bridge, because your suffix of your L2 bridge is exactly the same as suffix of whole your L2 solution. It's like the same, the same security parameters. So I think L2s would get some advantage comparing to side chains, and it will be interesting to see that some of other projects are turning into L2s.
My bet is the next year will be the proof of fat account thesis, and I guess we'll see a lot of account abstraction wallet, and Polymarket is a good example as here, I guess, of onboarding a lot of people to crypto. And in next year, I think we'll see much more adoption with similar use cases. And we in Gearbox moving in that direction. And our thoughts that a lot of protocols, infrastructure, DeFi infrastructure will be embedded inside the wallet. And our idea is that any account abstraction wallet in one click could be changed to credit wallet, and you can get access to credit using Gearbox inside the wallet that you use for everyday operations.
Thanks, guys. So now it's time for the questions. There was a question about the DApp security. Yes, please. Ahmed, others.
So I always hear people talk about DeFi and all the great things about it, but I never hear anyone talk about the security of DeFi interface and the current state of how we're all centralized using Web 2 for these.
Who wants to?
We actually in Gearbox built a lot of backend infrastructure to track different things that happens inside front end and inside the smart contracts when people interact with it. For example, we check different changes of DNSs, etc. Each redeploy of application to the website using CI/CD will check all smart contracts, all the addresses. So
I can answer that. I see through the ages, I see this industry became more and more mature. We are having like new standards in this industry, like regarding audits of the code, regarding the quality of your code. And yeah, we are, for example, in 1inch, we use special technique, like we optimize our code base for its size and it should be compact, easy to read, and at the same time it should be highly efficient on architectural level. And we always have bunch of audits. So having less code, being able to easily understand this code and having bunch of audits is something what contributes to safety and security of your protocol a lot. And the industry is getting more mature about this, because in the beginning, like 5-7 years ago, it was like absolute, not the same level as it is now. Even even some huge companies changed their smart contracts without doing audits, and this ended up to losses, like hundreds of millions of dollars were lost. Just remember the parity multi-sig hack, where library which was used by every multi-sig was initialized by hacker and deleted by hacker, and all the multi-sigs became unusable anymore. It's like insane. It's I think this sounds like something what is impossible to have right now with these existing multi-sig solutions from almost any company. But I think in the future we will probably have more things. Maybe we will finally have more usable proof systems for smart contracts, and yeah.
One question more. Who wants to ask? Great.
Hi, everyone. Actually, I have two questions. Is that okay? First one, what do you think about the role of privacy in DeFi now? So DeFi is totally public now. So what do you think about the privacy? Get it helps DeFi become better? And the second question is like, do you think like more and more institutions will come into DeFi?
I will answer first question. I would like to compare existing situation with DeFi protocols and blockchains with what happened to internet since the origination. All those protocols or networking protocols, IP, TCP, DNS, whatever, they were built to serve one need, to just work. Because there were like something what is like should be like highly working thing it should be unbreakable, kind of. And that's what protocol developers are trying to fix now, the security and safety issues of these decisions. We have all those SSL things off top of HTTP. We have DNSSEC off top of DNS. And some of these solutions, they are still not final, like DNS solution is still not final, and we will see something better on top of it. But yeah, and I'm not sure that even if we will have technologies to finally make this more private, we will probably never have everything private. We will always have a distribution, like a variety from something which is like fully public to fully private, and a lot of people in the middle with semi-solutions or like half decisions or something like that. So we're just at the stage where we're trying to make protocols which makes more sense in any meaning, makes more sense than traditional finance solution. And I see that some of the existing DeFi protocols, they are already exceeding traditional finance protocols in computational complexity, in other things, like there are a lot of accounting innovations in DeFi, yeah.
About the the institutions in DeFi who wants to comment? When we're gonna see those guys here?
Yeah, I think, I mean, they are already in some ways. They need they need to put in more capital. So for that, they need a security or a privacy layer on top of it. So I think that they will come when they feel it's more secured, and for them, control matters, right? For them, they want to control some part of it at least, which blockchain currently doesn't allow. So when the layer or whatever you call it is built, or they build it themselves, then obviously institutions are anyways coming in. They just need to come with more velocity. And depends on what use case. I mean, they are coming currently for yield. They want to come tomorrow for something else also. So the use cases needs to be built on top of it as well.
Thank you, guys. If you have more questions, our speakers are here, so come to speak to them, ask the questions. Thanks a lot, guys, for being here, for amazing panel. And yeah, let's then enjoy. And we are expecting the next speaker, which is DWF, who will be speaking in a few minutes here. So yeah, 5 minutes rest and then come back. Thank you, guys.